Okay, so with that being said, let's get ready to start. So make sure that your space is clear, that you're not going to step on anything or trip on anything. Make sure you've got some water nearby, right? Pick those shoulders up, pull them back, slide them down. Abs are in tight, right? And let's go side to side. Remember, go at your own pace for the warm up and throughout. Don't be afraid to challenge yourself a little bit, but do listen to your body. If you start to get out of breath, then it's probably a good time to slow down a little bit. If your muscles start to really burn or shake, same thing. If you start to feel tightness or stiffness in your low back, then your low back might need a little stretch. Okay, so let's switch the arms to this. So kind of pull out. And then let's do a heel lift behind. Good. So remember, abs are in tight. Okay, now this one's going to require a little bit of brain work. So we're going to go up and down, and up and down, and up and down, and up. So same legs, just changing up the arms a little bit. Up and down, up and down, and up and down, up and down. Just making sure everybody's awake, including myself. Up. Let's do each one more time. Up. Now knee up and biceps curl. So we're slowing it down a little bit. Knee up, biceps curl, knee up. So this would be a good time to kind of practice your biceps curl form, right? Don't let those elbows come forward. Good. Think about inhaling through your nose, exhaling through your mouth. Good. Let's do 2 more. Good. And then we're going to punch forward and step forward. So punch. And let's alternate legs. So alternate sides. Punch, step, punch and step, punch and step. And try to really make that arm do a little something. So push it, pull it back, push it, pull it back, push it, pull it back. Abs are in tight because that's helping with your balance and stability. And if you need to, lessen the leg movement a little bit, that's fine too. So you can leave your feet still. You can kind of lift alternating heels, or you can actually step. Good. Now, let's step back, and then we're going to change to an uppercut. Remember, try to pull that elbow back. Good. 4, 3, 2. Keep the legs and go up, up. Or you could do opposite arm and leg. Remember, the shoulders are staying down. And if it bothers your shoulder to bring your arm all the way up, then just go up as high as you can. And sometimes the shoulders will loosen up over time so that you can go up higher. Good. And 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Now come to your chair. Put a hand lightly on the chair. Right knee up, leg back. Knee up, leg back. So abs are in tight, leg back. And remember, we're not going way far forward if that leg stays down close to the floor. We only want to go as far forward as the leg can come up behind us, right? And part of that is strength. Part of it is flexibility, range of motion. Let's do one more. Good job. Step down, shake out your legs a little bit. And then we'll switch. So left knee up, leg back, knee up, leg back, knee up, leg back, knee up, leg back, knee up. Good. Abs are staying in tight. Let's just do one more time. Good job. All right, and then pick one leg and swing it forward and back a few times. And then the other leg. Good. Shake them out a little bit. All right, a little bit of balance. Okay, so we're going to start today with a tree pose. And I know this is a little bit challenging for many of us, but just try to remember, you have to work your way up. So put your fingers light on the chair. I don't care which leg you start with, right? But put one heel against the inside of the other ankle. See if you can balance here with your hands off the chair, right? Then if you need to, fingers back on the chair, maybe pick that foot up a little bit higher, right? See how your balance is here. If you need a finger on the chair here, fine. If you don't, see if you can bring that foot up a little higher, right? And maybe a finger or two on the chair, or maybe not, right? But just remember, it's not a race. It's not a competition. We just want to see where our balance is today. Try not to move your eyes or your head, right? Abs in tight, chest up. Breathe. Make sure whichever leg you're standing on, you're not locking that knee. Okay, we'll just hold it for a few more seconds. And then release, shake them out a little bit. Remember, if balance was easy, we wouldn't need to be practicing it. So just keep that in mind. So long, deep breaths, and let's switch legs. So remember, heel up against the inside of the ankle or shin or however big your feet are. See how that feels? Now, if this is as high as far as you can go without holding on, then you stay here, right? If you need to put your fingers on the chair to get your foot up a little higher, then if you can stand here without holding on, great. And if you can stand here without holding on, then see if you can bring that foot maybe up a little bit higher. Remember, you want to try to go as far as you can without needing any support. Right, and breathe. Try to focus, but not strain too much. Good, we'll just hold it for a few more seconds. Good, and let's release it out. Shake up those legs a little bit. We're gonna repeat that one more time. Now, a couple of things. For me personally, balance has always been relatively easy. So try not to base yourself on me. And tree pose is a yoga movement. It's a yoga pose. I got my start in fitness teaching yoga. So keep that in mind too. So you want to try to stay up tall. And remember, balance is a blend of the mental and the physical. So think about where you're starting. Think about, how far can your body hold you, right? And then see what you can do. Now, remember, if you need a finger on the chair or the wall to help you out, that's fine. You just want to try not to lean on the wall. And if you need to keep your foot on the floor, then you keep your foot on the floor. right? Because balance can vary very widely from day to day. And remember, nobody stands still like a statue. My foot and my ankle are wobbling a little bit. Good, so hold on if you need to, and then slowly release out. Shake out your legs a little bit. And we'll repeat the other side. So just remember, listen to your body and go as far as your body tells you it can go today. Just try not to put your foot directly on your knee. Your knee will not thank you for that later. Good, and breathe and find that focal point. Good. Okay, and then slowly release. Good work. If you need to, swing your legs a couple of times. Let's grab a drink, and then we're going to get the stretchy band or tube to start with. Okay. So we're actually going to start today with it behind us. Right, so bring it between your body and your arm. Right, and shorten it up a little bit. And we're going to push forward, pull back. So abs and tight, push forward, pull back. Push forward, pull back. Push forward, pull back. Push forward. Try to get those arms to extend. If they won't extend, then you might need to give yourself a little more length. But remember, you want to try to keep your arms down at about chest level, not up too high. So I can feel this some in my triceps too, the backs of the upper arms. Abs are in really tight. My abs are in tight. Let's do 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job. Lower your arms down, roll your shoulders back. Good. And then bring the tube or the band back up. And if you're using weights, bring those back up. Okay, and then the arms are going to go out here, and then we're going to cross, cross, cross. Now, if you'd like to do a little leg movement with the cross, that's fine. Good. Try to make sure you're alternating which arm goes on top. Good. 4. It should be getting hard. 3, 2, 1. Good job. We're going to set this down. If you have a long bar or a broomstick or a mop handle, go ahead and grab it. Okay, if you don't have one, then you're just going to bring your arms out here, and we're going to go up and down. It's just a little bit easier to do it if you have something light in your hands. So we want to try to pull those arms back as far as we can, keeping the elbows bent. So the hands have to be wide apart, and then back down. So up at the top, I'm kind of pinching my shoulder blades together, and up and down. And this really opens the chest, and it stretches the pec muscles. So you want to try to keep your elbows as straight as you can, and you should be feeling it like right in here. All right, so up and down. Up and try to pull back. And it's not so easy. And you know, we spend an awful lot of time kind of rounded forward. When we're reading, we round forward. If we're sitting at the computer, we round forward. If we're driving, we round forward. So all of us want to be able to stay upright for as long as we can. And this is going to help with that. Right? So pull back. Good. Good. And then go ahead and release. All right. So if you don't have a broomstick or a mop handle, then a section of like narrow PVC pipe or a long dowel. If you happen to be out at, Home Depot or Lowe's or something like that, or somebody who works in construction. Okay, so we're not going to hold it behind us. We're going to get the stretchy tube or band again. We're going to shorten it up, right? And we're going to put one handle here. So I have my right hand here on my left elbow lifting, but it doesn't matter which one you start with as long as you do both. And we're going to go out and in. So again, we're keeping that elbow back. So as we extend it, right, we can't see the upper arm. And remember, try not to let that elbow drop down. This is kind of a tough one. If you need to, give yourself a little extra length. There's nothing wrong with that. Abs are in tight. If you can get that arm to extend all the way out, then you feel it in your biceps and your triceps. 2 more, please, and thank you. Good job. Let's lower that arm down, roll that shoulder forward, and roll it back. And we're going to switch sides. Right, so the arm that you're not using, that elbow is down. The arm that you are using, the elbow is up. Abs in tight, feet nice and wide apart for stability. And then we go out and in. And remember, try to glance over to the side and make sure that that elbow is staying in line with your shoulder. It doesn't really want to, but that's okay. Abs in tight. I have a really fun new leg exercise for us today too. So you have that to look forward to. 2 more. Good job. Lower that arm down and roll the shoulder forward and roll it back. Whew, good work. Let's bring it back behind us and shorten it up a little bit. Right. So today we're going to alternate. We're going to go up, up, cross, cross. Okay. So we're going to just keep alternating like that. If you lose your place, just, do it as best you can. So I'm going to start with my right side. So I'm going to go right, left, then cross, right, left, then up, right, left, then cross, right, left, then up, right, left, then cross, right, left, and up, right, left, and cross, right, left, and up, right. So abs are in tight and cross. And if you need to do it without the legs, that's fine. Do what's right for you. And up, up. But do try to get those arms to extend and bend. And up. Good. And up and across, and cross in front, up, up, and cross, cross, and up, and cross, and up, and cross, and your heart rate should be accelerating a little bit. Let's do, after this, we'll do 2 more sets. Up, and cross, and last one, reach, and reach, reach. Good job. Lower your arms down. Ooh. Shake them out a little bit. Very good. All right. We're going to focus on bringing that heart rate down a little bit. Okay, so we're going to step on it with both feet. If you don't have a stretchy tube or band, that's fine. Just take your feet apart. Put your hands on the front of your legs. I made a little X in my tube. And then we're going to pinch the shoulders back and squeeze the shoulder blades. Squeeze, squeeze. So we want to think about, yes, breathing, because breathing is always helpful. But we want to try to get back to inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. And just be glad you're not actually here at the JCC where all the group classes have to stay masked all the time. Not that there are that many group classes at the moment. So try to really pinch those shoulder blades. Pinch, pinch, pinch. Good. How about two more? This is one and two. Good work. Or you can let go of it if you want to and roll your shoulders forward a few times and then roll them back. And keep in mind too, whenever you need a drink, get a drink. And then we're going to pick it up again. And I'm keeping the X in mind. We're going to do a little bit of side stepping. Okay, so shoulders back and down, abs are in tight. We're going to start with the left leg. And we're going to step the left foot out and in twice, and then the right leg. So here we go. Out, in, out. Now right. Out, in, out, in. Now left. Now remember, you do it the same way seated or standing. Out, in, out, in. If you're sitting, you might have to put the handles down on your legs rather than pulling them up to your hips. Good. And left. Remember, try to keep those shoulders up over your hips. Try not to lean like that. Right? Stay here. And abs are in tight. Good. Now, we're going to alternate. Left and in, right and in. Left and in, right and in. Left and in. Two more on each side. We can do it. Abs in tight. Last one. Good work, everyone. Woo. Breathe. Undo your X. Shake them out a little bit. Okay, let's shorten up that tube. Stand up tall, feet apart again. Abs are in really tight. If you want to stand in front of your chair, then by all means do. Stick your hands to the sides of the legs, push back into your heels, and come up. So remember, this movement starts with the hips. It doesn't start by bringing your chest forward. The chest comes forward because the hips push back, not vice versa. Right, so abs are in really tight, supporting the low back. We're looking down at the floor as we come forward, so we're not straining our necks. And we're inhaling on the way up so that we're not getting lightheaded. And push back into your heels and feel it in the backs of your legs. And really push. Remember, if you want to feel it, if you want this to work, it takes a little bit of effort. And we can do it. And I feel it some in my arms too, because my arms have been working hard already today. Good. And then at the top, give your tush a little pinch and push back and come up and pinch the glutes a little. Abs are still in tight. Let's do two more. One more time. Good work. All right. Now bring your feet closer together. Whew. Abs in tight, shoulders back and down. And let's see, eeny, meeny, miny. Let's go to the right. So right and center, and right and center, and right and center, right and center, right, abs in tight, right, center, center. Good. Four, you can do it. Keep breathing. 3, 2, abs in tight. Last one, hold center. Make sure the shoulders are back and down. Abs in tight. Make sure your knees are straight but not locked and feet stay flat. And let's go left, left. And remember, don't let either of the shoulders come forward. And try not to let your hips come forward. But by the same token, we don't want the hips pushing out away from us either. We want to keep the hips under and just bend the waist. Good. Remember, protect your spine. So if you have any spinal issues, just be a little conservative. Just a few more. Good. 3, 2, 1. Good work. All right, now hold that handle again. Ooh, shake out your fingers a little bit if you need to. Sometimes from holding on to that tube or band, fingers get a little tired. All right, so we're gonna do some triceps presses. So feet are wider apart, hands are coming back behind you. Remember, try to relax your grip. Put the handle, if you have one, across your palm rather than your fingers and press back. Press back. Up tall, shoulders back and down. Abs in tight. Try not to let your arms come all the way down. If you can help it, so you really feel it in the triceps. Four, 3, 2, 1. Good job. Come on off your tube or band or whatever you have, set it aside. Shake out your arms a little bit. Let's put one hand on the hip, doesn't matter which. Each one arm up and just kind of flex over. Let's give our side a little stretch and stretch out up here. Good, and release. And then let's switch sides. Good. And release. Grab another drink. And then, believe it or not, we're going to sit down just for a minute or two. Okay. So I'm turning my chair this way because I'm hoping that you'll be able to see me a little bit better. So just watch me for a second because this is our new leg exercise. So we're going to sit out toward the front of the chair, extend the legs out in front of you, lean back so your shoulders are leaning against the chair, but not too hard. And hold on. You're going to bring the feet up and turn your toes out. And then we're going to go out, in. Okay? So get into that position, right? Legs up, toes out, abs in tight, go out, in, out. Try to keep the toes pointed out, at least a little bit. Out, in, out, in, out, out. If they get tired, you can rest. Out, in, good. 4, pull those abs in tight. 3, 2, 1. Good job. Bring them together, put them down, sit up. Whew. Stand up. Pick a leg, swing it forward and back. I kept the set pretty short today, but you might feel this in your legs tomorrow. Just remember, any soreness that you have in your muscles is a good thing, I think, personally. I like it when my muscles get sore. Okay, so we're going to grab weights and we're going to do some biceps curls. Okay, so whatever weights you like to use for your biceps. Remember, if the straight biceps curl bothers your elbow or forearm, then you're going to do a hammer curl like this. Okay, so up tall, feet apart, abs are in tight, shoulders back and down, elbows in at your waist, and then curl up and control the lower and squeeze up and control the lower, and shoulders stay down and back and control the lower, and try not to let your shoulders roll forward. If your shoulders are rolling forward, the weights are too heavy. There's no point in doing the exercise with weights that are too heavy, because all that does is damage and it doesn't help to build the strength. Keep those elbows down. Control the lift. Control the lower. Try to make sure that you're not leaning back, right? And think all the way up, all the way down, all the way up, all the way down, all the way up, all the way down. Let's do 3 more. 3, all the way down. 2, all the way down. Last time, up, all the way down. Good job, everyone. Go ahead and set those weights down. Woo. Shake out your arms a little bit. Okay, good. All right, now, let's pick up those heavy weights. Okay, and feet apart, and abs are in tight, and hands are going to stay by the sides of your legs, and we're going to push back, and the hands slide down just to about the knees and back up. So remember, again, the movement starts by pushing the hips back and up, and squeeze your tush, and push back, abs in tight, and up and squeeze your tush, and the hands are sliding down the outsides of the legs, no lower than your knees, so the upper back doesn't round, and squeeze up and push back and squeeze up and push back and squeeze up and push back and squeeze up. Good. And push back and squeeze up. And don't forget to breathe. Inhale on the way back up. Squeeze up and push back and squeeze up. Let's do 2 more. Push back. Nice relaxed grip. And last time, push back and squeeze up. Good work. Put those weights down just nearby because we'll use them again in a second. Right? Put a hand on the chair or sit down. Pick a knee, bring it up and into your chest. Right? We're holding behind the knee rather than in front of it like this. We want to hold back here because that's going to stretch the back of the leg more. And remember, we're focusing more on the stretch than the balance. So do hold on to something. Try not to lose your balance. Good. And let's release. And we're going to switch sides and bring it up. And breathe, and try to take this opportunity, if your breathing is elevated at all, to bring it back under control by inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your mouth. Good. And release down. And stand up tall, right? Shoulders back. Try to bring your chin down just a little bit and tuck it back toward the back of your neck, like you're trying to give yourself an extra chin, which we all need, right? And then turn your head side to side, right? Since we're here, we'll just stretch out those neck muscles a little bit. So remember, to get the neck muscles loosened, we have to do it a little faster than we normally would. We're not holding it like we would for a stretch. When we loosen, we're just trying to get some movement back. So try to keep that chin back. Good. All right. And relax. Let's pick up one of those heavy weights. Just one. Right. So I'm holding it. Oops. We're doing the right side first. So hold it in your left hand. Right hand behind your right ear or on your right shoulder. Feet not too wide apart. Right? And we're going to go down and center. And down, so that right elbow's coming down toward the floor. Both knees are staying straight. Both feet are staying flat. Right? Hips and shoulders are staying square, facing front. Right? We're not pushing the hips over to the left. We're keeping them under us. And of course, abs are in as tight as you can get them and still breathe. Remember, they're fun. Let's see if we can do 3 more. 3. You can do it. I'm feeling this in my right side today. Last one. Good work. Put the weight down if you need to. Reach that right arm up. Now push your hips to the right and flex over to the left. So that weight is kind of pulling me down into the stretch a little bit. Good. Wearing my Ruth Bader Ginsburg shirt for inspiration today. Good, and release. Good, let's switch sides. Fingertips behind your ear or on your shoulder, feet not too wide apart. Here we go. Down, up. Remember, both knees are straight. Both feet stay flat. Hips and shoulders staying square, facing front. Great, and we're not pushing the hips over to the right. We're keeping them under us. We're not bending to the right when we come up. We're stopping in the center. Relax your grip as much as you can on the weight. If you get really tired, if you develop a cramp in your side, then stop. If you have a cramp, stretch it. 2 more, please, and thank you. 1 more time. Good job. Put the weight down if you'd like to. Otherwise, reach the left arm up. Push your hips to the left and reach that left arm up and over. Try to, again, not let that shoulder roll forward. Try not to let it roll back. That's one big benefit of having a mirror when you're working out, is just to check your form. Good. And release. And let's go ahead and set this weight down. Whew. Okay. Now, we're going to grab a little bit lighter weight. I should put this one away. Right? And I'm going to hold my weight like this. If you'd rather hold it like this, that's fine. But what I want you to do is sit back like you're going to sit down into a chair. And if you need to, then put your chair behind you and see if you can just touch and stand up. Just touch. Try not to sit down. This is different than sitting and standing. Right? See if you can go here. Now, if this is too much for you, just do what you can. Right? So if you can only go part way down, that's fine. And you build your strength from there. Right? But if you can, so remember the feet are out nice and wide and we're pushing the hips back and we're not actually sitting, we're touching. And let's just do 3 more because these are kind of hard. One more time. Good job. Set the weight down. Hold onto your chair or the wall. Swing the legs forward and back. Good. And switch. Good. Okay. Now we're going to leave our legs alone for a minute or two. Get the lightest weight that you have. Okay. So we're just going to do one. We're going to do one arm at a time. So I have the weight in my right hand. I'm putting my left hand on my hip. And I'm going to push that right arm across and pull it back like I'm trying to elbow someone. So back, cross, back, cross. Now, if your lightest weight even is too heavy for you, then do it with no weight. And pull it out. And pull it out. Make sure that elbow or shoulder, shoulder isn't coming all the way up toward your ear. So you're going to feel this in your arm and the back of your shoulder, right? Try to keep that elbow up. Let's just do one more. Good job. Lower it down. Roll that shoulder forward. Woo. And then, of course, we always end with a shoulder roll to the back. Woo. Good job. All right. Now switch sides. And we're going to bring this one up and pull out, across, and out, and across, and out, and across, out, and across, and out, and across. And try to keep that elbow up and pull back so you feel it some in the back of your shoulder. Although quite honestly, I feel it more in the back of my shoulder when my arm is extended. Good. 3, 2, 1. Good job. Roll that shoulder forward. And roll it back. That was super fun. Okay, shake them out. Now, back to the legs. So we're going to stand behind the chair. Right? Make sure you're standing upright, not with your feet parked out behind you. Take one leg, bring it back behind you, right? And up tall and pinch, pinch. So pinch right here, your tush. That's the glute. Doesn't really matter so much if the leg lifts off the floor. What matters is, can you feel that squeeze? If you feel it, it's all good. Squeeze. So if you need to, you put a hand right here and squeeze it and feel it squeezing. And if you don't feel it squeezing, then it's not squeezing. So you have to really think, all right, how do I get it to squeeze? Ugh. Try not to bend the knee too much. Okay, one more. That's probably enough. Good. All right, shake them out. And then let's switch. So up tall, abs and tight, shoulders back and down, and pinch. Remember, put a finger or two and make sure you can feel it squeezing if you need to. If you can feel it without putting your hand on it, then that's fine. And remember, it's not strictly necessary for the foot to leave the floor. And of course, both legs are working because the leg you're standing on is working too. Two, one. Good job. Both feet down, step back a little bit away from the chair. Push your hips back, press your chest down toward the floor. Try to keep those shoulders back and the spine nice and long. Breathe. Good job. And abs in tight and lift up. And then we're going to face front, hand light on the chair. I'm going to turn to the side just so you can see. So what we're going to try to do is this, right? So the foot's not touching. Now, sometimes this is hard to do without going like this. So if that's the case for you, try bending your knee and bring it out this way. Okay, so doesn't matter which leg you start with, hand light on the chair, stay up tall, so abs and tight, and we're gonna go out, in. Try to keep your toes pointing forward, right? Try not to let them turn out and feel it. And of course, we feel it in the leg we're standing on, right? So upper body up nice and tall. If I was to look at you above the waist, I shouldn't be able to tell that your leg's moving, ideally. Ooh, remember, if you need to, you bend that knee. It makes it a teeny bit easier. Let's do two more. Good job. Step it down. Swing your legs side to side. Now, the leg that I was standing on was feeling it every bit as much as the other leg. Good. All right. And we're going to switch sides. So up tall, remember, both sides not exactly the same. So if you need to do the side a little differently, that's fine. Try not to lean. Try to stay up tall and go side. Right? Toes are pointing forward. So we feel it more if we don't let the leg come all the way back in. If we keep it out a little bit more, we feel it more. But if you can't do that without leaning, then don't do it. Stay up tall, right? Try to keep those toes pointing forward. Now, for me, this leg is already a little tired from having stood on it. So now it's just getting a little more tired. Woo! Ooh, good job. Put it down and swing side to side. Good, and switch. Good. Okay, now we're going to stand behind the chair. This is a hard one to do sitting. So if you can stand, try to stand. We're going to cross one leg in front of the other, right? So the feet are more side to side and not so much heel toe. And we're going to push the hips back and hands are resting lightly on the chair back, right? And shoulders are back and spine is long and abs are in tight. And usually we feel it more in the outside of the leg that's behind. But just like with anything else, we feel it more wherever we're tighter. Breathe. We're going to hold it for a few more seconds because it feels so good. All right, abs and tight. Inhale and stand up. Okay, and then let's switch. right? So just make sure you're standing kind of behind the center of the chair. Push your hips back. Try to stand so that you can bend your elbows, right? So your arms aren't super extended. It makes it a lot easier to keep the shoulders back and the back flat when you can bend your elbows a little bit. So here I feel it more on the outside of the left hip because the left leg is behind. But I am thinking about pushing my shoulders back and pinching my shoulder blades together a little bit and pulling my abs in tight. So if you're good at multitasking, that's a benefit here. Good. Big inhalation, abs in tight, and slowly stand up. Good. All right, I'm going to grab a quick drink, then we're going to sit down and finish stretching, and then we're done. Okay. So that stretch that we just did took the place of one of the stretches that we do seated. So come out toward the front edge of your chair, cross one ankle over the opposite knee, extend that leg if you need to, put the ankle below the knee if you need to, right? Try to sit up really tall and gently push down on your leg just above the knee, never directly on it. So I'm stretching my right hip at the moment. So I want my left knee to be out directly in front of my left hip. And I'm sitting up really tall. Good. All right, and let's release. Breathe, and we're gonna switch sides. So remember, do what you have to do for each side. If you need to extend the leg, if you need to put your ankle below your knee, do it. Okay, and we're pushing down, not directly on the knee, but just above it, and we're sitting up tall. Good. Few more seconds. Good work, and let's release it. All right, and let's scoot over to the right side of the chair. Try to stay out toward the front edge of the chair. Hold on to the outside of the chair with your left hand. Lower that right knee down. All right, so it's ideally below the hip or a little bit behind it. But if it has to be in front, it has to be in front, right? So sit up as tall as you can and see if you can push back a little bit from the low back, right? So the spine is still staying nice and straight. And up tall. All right, so think about pushing back from down here and not just the shoulders pushing back. Good, and sit up. Whew. And let's switch sides. So try not to lean back too far or sit back too far, right? So right knee is out in front of my hip, left knee is down, either wherever it goes, ideally below the hip or behind it. Lift up really tall, and if you can, try to push back a little bit and really feel it in the front of your hip and your thigh, your quads, and the hip flexors. Right, and breathe and think happy thoughts. Good, and then sit up and bring that foot back forward. And while we're down here, come back out to the front of your chair. Reach your hands back onto the chair back. Bring them as high as you can and see if you can Lean forward a little bit and pull your shoulders back and pinch your shoulder blades together and tuck your chin down. Oh, and abs in tight. But that goes without saying because they're in tight all the time anyway, right? Right. Good. And release them. Let's stand up. Right. And take one more big overhead stretch. Good. And then see if you can lower your arms down in front of you. It doesn't matter if your palms face in or face out, but push your arms forward, drop your chin down, round your shoulders. This is the only time I'll ever say that. And then abs in tight, and think about pushing your spine out behind you a little bit, right? And feel that stretch across your mid back. Good. And inhale and reach up tall again. Lower your arms down. Take a couple of big shoulder rolls to the back because we don't ever want to end up with the shoulders forward. And we are all done, everyone. Great job today, as always. Thank you so much for joining me.